Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. To get ourselves a treat.
Welcome back.
T-Kettle, dude. So, as I'm going home, I'm at a red light. It turns green, right? I'm like, alright, I'll go. This fucking dude in a black pickup truck with tinted windows behind me
Starts honking at
me, dude. The people next to me haven't even started moving yet. I'm like, did you just honk at me, dude?
Motherfucker's in a hurry.
Motherfucker's in a hurry. It's not my fault you're late to work, bitch.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Leave earlier then.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, you're gonna honk at me, you dude in a black pickup truck that you don't fucking need? I'm like, okay. So you know what I do? Fucking flick this dude off. I'm like, fuck you, dude. I'm like, fuck you. That dude must have been a voodoo priest. Because the rest of the day after that was fucking cursed. It was fucking crazy. It was like...
entirety of your week.
I must have flicked off Rod Serling because, like, I was in the fucking Twilight Zone the rest of that day. Ugh. Ugh.
It's gonna be alright, man.
Mm.
We're gonna use this time to escape, to get lost in some movie news.
I don't mean to complain. I mean to complain.
No, you're absolutely good. This is a safe place.
Yeah, for sure.
So I will be running the show by the sound of it.
Yes,
I got the phone.
Yeah, my phone's dead. It's a brick.
And so let's get into some news.
All right, let's do it.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
News might just be something I love.
Back to you, fuckers!
Magic the Gathering, Netflix series spearheaded by Russo brothers.
Yeah, so this isn't really movie news, but it's a series news. And
I mean, it's Russo brothers.
It's the Russo brothers, and they're spearheading the a Magic the Gathering series. That's interesting.
I don't know. Like, I played it a couple times, and like it's complicated as fuck, and you just got to put way too much money into it. So I was like, that's not a hobby I'm interested in.
Right. It seems like kind of like in the same realm as like D&D in a way. It seems like the people who would like D&D would also like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, but you need imagination for D&D. You need cards,
right,
and a lot of money.
You need physical things.
Yes.
For sure. It's interesting for sure. I mean, I bet the lore is intense.
Yeah.
It's like Warcraft. It's like, how are you going to make a movie out of that, you know?
Yeah, they strike me as huge nerds, so I'm sure that they'll
figure it out. They just don't sleep, those guys. They just don't
pretty
sleep.
much what it feels like.
Yeah, they're always doing something. If they're not directing something, they're producing something, and it's crazy.
I actually just saw them on because we're watching that chef show with John Favreau.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see that.
Yeah, and Russo brothers in an episode. They're in an episode with it's like them and Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. all
nice.
eating at this restaurant.
That sounds awesome.
It's good. It's good, dude.
They talk about cool things.
Yeah, they're funny people.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
Anyway, yeah, that's sweet.
That is.
I just don't know how it would work because like, how much lore is it? Like,
it's so much.
Do they just like read the back of a card and then it tells them like, hey, this person does this or whatever?
Is it sort of like a Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon thing where there is like a main character in the lore, like that they can follow?
I don't know like at all.
Who's gonna be the main character?
Because like the main characters in like Yu-Gi-Oh aren't the cards; they're the players.
Right. Well, isn't Yu-Gi-Oh the main character? Yugi.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least you can center that around him.
Yes, but
imagine this being like a Fat Albert thing though, where it's like it takes place in the real world. Some kid is playing Magic the Gathering and then gets like sucked into the world.
Like Jumanji.
Like Jumanji. Oh, that would be the worst. Jumanji's the only one that took that premise and like made it good.
The Robin Williams one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I like the new one too. The new one's pretty good. It's real good. You should watch it. Zathura was also pretty good. Speaking of Johnny Fab.
Yeah, I think Russo brothers wouldn't do that.
No.
It doesn't strike me as something that
No. I was just joking around because.
But
No, they're. Yeah, if their name is attached to it, I almost feel like their name is becoming just like what's I don't know who else does this, just like whoever presents. Like a Steven Spielberg kind of name almost, where he can attach his name, like he attaches his name with Transformers. Like he's a producer on Transformers, but that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like the Russo Bros. Yeah, they produced it, but it's like, yeah, but they're not really like creatively in charge of it.
Yeah,
maybe. But who knows? Maybe they'll be more hands-on because they started off as TV producers. So
yeah,
we'll see.
For sure.
Type.
Yeah. Next we got Quentin Tarantino hires writer to pen movie adaptation of his Django Zorro comic series.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Was it misspelled writer or because it's supposed to be writer?
Yeah, it's spelled writer.
Oh no, writer, like a screenwriter. So he hired. Okay, here this news story has so many layers to it.
Okay.
First off, did you know? We were just talking about DC Vertigo actually with the kitchen last time or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you know that Quentin Tarantino wrote a comic book for DC Vertigo?
No, what is it?
It was a crossover between Django Unchained meets Zorro. It was a Django Zorro comic book.
Really?
Yeah, he wrote it. He co-wrote it with someone else.
That sounds hype.
Here, I'm going to look it up just so I can give the dude credit. Django. I had no idea because I feel like I'm on top of the comic and movie world, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like I should know. If someone's like, Quentin Tarantino writes a comic book, I'm like, I'm there. But no, I'd never even heard about it. Author Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, but who's the other guy, though?
Author.
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino and Matt Wagner co-wrote the Django Zorro comic book for DC Vertigo, which is basically about Django, from Django Unchained.
Yep.
And he meets like an aging Zorro, from the lore.
Like, and what do they do together?
I think I don't really know what they do. I mean, I'm not going to read the entire plot here, but
no, but like.
But yeah, it is a comic series written by Quentin Tarantino. So they're making a movie adaptation out of it. Quentin Tarantino freaking hired a writer, which is something he's never done, right? Mm-hmm. He hired a writer for his source material to make this into a movie that's going to act, according to him, as an official sequel to Django Unchained. So he's doing a sequel to his own movie that he's not directing.
Because he doesn't want to do the more than 10 movies.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's another thing he hasn't done. So this is like kind of huge news in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never hired. I feel like it's kind of weird to hire somebody to do your own thing because you have a very specific vision. Why have somebody else try to like imagine it?
I think he has faith because it's a comic book, so it's already semi-written. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy though. But because it's gonna act like it's gonna act as a sequel to Django Unchained.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be Django meets Zorro.
Who's gonna be Zorro?
I don't know. Antonio Banderas? That would be crazy. That'd be crazy. I feel like Quentin Tarantino would want that. Yeah, I feel like that's something he would want.
Yeah.
Because apparently in the comic, I just read a quick synopsis. Django meets Zorro, who's kind of aged at this point. Because Zorro's been around for years. I mean, for like almost 100 years. The dude's been around. Mm-hmm. It's not like the movies with Antonio Banderas were like the things that invented Zorro. No, Zorro's been, yeah, there have been black and white movies of Zorro,
yep.
So anyway, he's like an aging Zorro. He's kind of on his last leg sort of thing, apparently. So if they got Antonio Banderas, it would make sense,
Yeah.
Because he's kind of in that realm where he could still kind of kick ass, but at the same time, he's definitely older.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting. You know what is also really cool about that idea? Mm-hmm. Is the fact that you know how he's got that cinematic world and then the cinematic world within the cinematic world?
Yeah.
That one can be the cinematic world within the cinematic world.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one, was, Django was, his version of history.
Yeah.
And then that's somebody else trying to, make a movie about said history.
Yeah, right?
That could be really cool.
It would be cool.
Dude, his shit is so meta. I love it.
At first, it was just kind of a weird, news. It took me back. I'm like, Django and Zorro. But after a while, I'm like, I guess it makes sense. But isn't Zorro usually... I don't know. Zorro's a Mexican, hero. Mm-hmm. And then Django's the hero of America. So it would be interesting to see these two come together. Yeah. The guy he got is Jared Carmichael from the Carmichael Show to handle scripting duties for the project. I've never heard of him. So...
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah, dude. Down the road. That is going to be crazy, dude.
Okay. So now we got Jeff Warlow, Truth or Dare, to direct horror film Magic 8 Ball. Please, what? So, a killer Magic 8 Ball, it reads your future and then that future
no. Okay, so... The way it's written, it sounds like he's making a movie about the Magic 8-Ball, right?
Okay.
That, like, tells your future or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it's like a horror film, right?
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put "you're gonna die" as one of the options on the fucking 8-Ball. Don't write that.
Well, it's probably gonna be like they shake it. And it's like, am I gonna die? Outcome seems certain, or whatever.
Don't
and then
ask
they die.
stupid questions.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm sorry, I don't mean to diss on any director or anything, but this does seem like the guy who made Truth or Dare would do.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. He's making it for Blumhouse, and I'm sure Hasbro's probably attached too. Because Hasbro's trying to make a bunch of movies out of their toys. Which is weird, but they are.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to sell them, though.
No.
I can't even remember the last time that I saw one of those on the shelf, though.
Yeah, Magic 8-Ball.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Why don't they just make a Rubik's Cube movie? Just make a Rubik's Cube. Make freaking Tetris movie.
It jumps in and out of people's houses. Like, that's the whole movie. It's just like, I can't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it just keeps going until it finds somebody to figure it out. There you go. End of movie.
Yeah, how the hell do you... I don't even know, dude. But yeah, Magic 8-Ball.
Magic 8-Ball.
Are you excited?
I mean, Truth or Dare kind of, like, looked fun in, like, a really dumb way. Like, really dumb, turn your brain off type way.
I spoiled that movie for me because I had no interest in seeing it. You know what's weird is that Blumhouse, they pulled a Marvel. Because that's how confident they were in that project. That movie was Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. Like, Blumhouse was in the title.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, it was the first movie they attached their name to, like, in the front of it like that.
Well, I mean, maybe that's just a way to attract people. That's what they thought. They're like, oh, this probably doesn't seem that strong on its own. So let's throw our name there.
Maybe. But I spoiled that movie for me. Have you seen it, or do you know what happened?
No.
The ending is hilariously stupid.
Hilariously stupid.
It's hilariously stupid. You might get a kick out of it.
I kind of want to hear it.
You kind of want to hear it? I'll spoil it for you right now if you want.
Spoilers for
Truth or Dare, not that anybody cares. Alright, so it's been a while, so let me just see if I remember this correctly. The ending I do remember because it's the stupidest thing ever. So, you play Truth or Dare, whatever, and it's basically passed on to somebody.
Yeah.
You know? So, eventually, whoever is there, basically in the room while this game of Truth or Dare is playing, gets possessed by this demon. You know, it's so stupid. I mean, but that's the premise of the movie. So, and then, you know, obviously it goes from person to person to person to person, right? Mm-hmm. Until they're basically all dead. So at the end of the movie, right, this girl, like the main girl, is given a chance. She's like, hey, like, kill this boy you like, or whatever, cut off your tongue, who fucking knows. And then, this is her loop around, right? She decides to start, like, a new Truth or Dare game with a bunch of people. Where are these bunch of people? They're in, like, a castle. She fucking, like, live streams.
So then everybody...
She live streams her Truth or Dare so that everyone watching the stream will get possessed, and then it will go from person to person to person to person. It will eventually get back to her, but... Because, like, what if 1,000 people watch the fucking live stream? Then it's going to go from the 1,000 people back to her.
Yeah, it's just delaying it.
It's buying time, you know? But I'm like, that's your plan? You're going to live stream this Truth or Dare?
Murderer.
You're sort of a psychopath, dude. Like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, because if you would have just killed yourself, it would have just ended with you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, people don't think logically like that, so it doesn't really matter.
No. I'm like, okay, like... Alright. That's so stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of glad I didn't see it. I don't know, because I'm kind of weird about that stuff, because I like that. What's that movie? Unfriended. I kind of like that movie.
Yeah, well, again, it's like
not
schlocky.
great. Not great, but...
Well, there's a place for bad movies, I think. You know?
But, no, I'm not excited for
If you're
this.
bad, at least be enjoyably bad.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but,
so...
Magic 8-Ball is a no for me.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. Unless it turns out to be super self-aware and meta.
I'm sure it'll sell. It might sell some, depending on its popularity.
Yeah, right. Maybe they'll make
They'll see it as like the what's the Ouija board.
Oh yeah, that's another
Ouija
one.
board.
I mean, Hasbro is attached to those movies as well.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it goes like Blumhouse Films, or whatever, and then it goes Hasbro Films. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, so like Transformers, Battleship.
That's so fucking weird.
Hasbro, it's like, why are you trying to make movies out of your toys, man? Like, some of them I get, like, because they have lore to them, like Transformers, but, like, you can't, Like, how are you gonna make a movie out of the friggin' like Risk, like that board game Risk? It's just war. It's just a war movie. It's just a war movie, but it could be like any war movie.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
You could make any war movie and call it Risk.
Let's do it. Let's do an Operation.
Operation movie. It's like, wow.
Dumb.
Yep.
Kingsman, great game.
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson cast as a potential ancestor to Eggsy.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be a prequel.
Yes, this great game thing apparently is gonna be a prequel.
I figure that you put this on here mainly for me.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what do you think, Aaron Taylor Johnson?
I don't know. Like he's fine.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Like,
fine as in like he's fine, or is he like fine?
I don't know.
I meant fine as in like sexy. Like you think
no. I'm sure that people would say that about him.
Yeah. You didn't see that coming?
But but I've seen him good in movies like Nocturnal Animals. He's good in that. So
yeah, he's very good in that.
Maybe
you won a Golden Globe for that. So.
Yeah. So, but for me, I don't know. It's really hard.
You didn't like him as Quicksilver in Avengers: Age of Ultron?
I totally forgot that. He was, when you said you said you didn't see that coming. Yeah. Now I got that.
Yeah.
No, I had no. Yeah. Totally forgot.
Yeah, he got the shaft in that film, dude. Mm-hmm. And it's because Fox had their own version of Quicksilver. That was purely a studio decision to do that. Because they wanted to keep him alive, but then when Fox announced Quicksilver, they're like, well, we gotta kill him off.
Yeah, the situation was like totally avoidable too.
And Fox did Quicksilver way better, I will admit. They did Quicksilver way better. And and they're like, let's kill him off. They did it, and he's basically the only forgotten Avenger, like in the entire MCU.
Because like, there's so many times especially like with this most recent movie, that they could have like utilized him in a way, or just brought him up, but no. Or
like Scarlet Witch she's never
like,
mentioned him.
Hey, I miss him.
Yeah, exactly. Scarlet Witch, like, it's your brother, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Anyway,
they should bring him back. They need to redeem him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just a little sour about this because I want Edgerton back.
Yeah. You want a sequel to what was it? Golden Circle.
Yeah.
Golden Shower. Or whatever.
That. I mean, Golden Shower. No, I'll probably still see it though.
Yeah.
Unless it gets like dumped on. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Matthew Vaughn's attached, so we'll see. Still. So. Yeah.
I really don't have that much more to say about it.
Me neither, because I like the Kingsman movie, the first one, but I feel like it hasn't aged well with me. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's the end of the news.
That's the end of the news?
That's the end of the news.
Let's get into our trailer talk.
Let's get into our trailers.
Trailer trash.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Let's just go in order. Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, this was like a huge film by Fox, now Disney.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were putting this as one of their most anticipated films. A lot of, like, when we did that most anticipated episode of 2019, where we had to do our research, this film appeared all the time. But there wasn't even, like, a poster. There was just a premise. So,
and like a cast, right?
Yeah, and a cast. And it wasn't enough for me to put it on my list because I needed to see something from it.
Yeah.
And after seeing it, I could be like, okay, I can see why this is pretty anticipated. It looks pretty good.
I think it looks pretty good, too.
Yeah. Christian Bale? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know James Mangold was directing it until this trailer. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. So,
yeah.
Which is weird, because I've seen it come across in articles for some reason, and they never brought it up. And Matt Damon, too.
Matt Damon, yeah.
Yeah. It just looks interesting. It's a true story.
Yeah, I like seeing these biopics about interesting people with interesting lives and stuff like
that. Yes. So. And the cinematography of the trailer also looks good.
It's really good.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
So.
Very cinematic.
Leave it to James friggin' Mangold,
Yeah.
So and John Bernthal is also in it, and
mm-hmm.
that's your boy right there.
I do like him.
It follows the eccentric team of American engineers and designers led by automotive visionary Carroll Shelby and his British driver Kent Miles, who are dispatched by Henry Ford II and Lee Iacocca.
And then isn't this about like them making the Shelby Cobra?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure this Shelby Cobra came out of it, but it's actually more to build the Ford GT.
Oh, the
GT40.
GT, gotcha.
It's a new racing car, and it's basically like they need to beat the Ferrari. You know?
Yeah.
It's almost like a Miracles kind of situation where it's like America has to beat, foreign countries and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, it's being released by Walt Disney Studios under the 20th Century Fox banner. That's so weird.
They call it the space race, and they can call this the automotive race.
The race?
The race.
Yeah, yeah, like the race. Yeah. So the race war. Oh wait, no.
So anyway, no. God damn.
That was actually from Bob's Burgers. I stole that joke.
Yeah, okay.
I've been watching a lot of Bob's Burgers lately.
I've never seen it.
It's
not a single episode. Wait a minute, you just were saying like not too long ago that like you couldn't get into it. Right?
I know, but now I got into it.
Let's go.
You know why? Because it's like good background noise. I can't get into it if I'm just watching it, but if I'm doing something else while it's on, it's like the perfect thing to be on.
Gotcha.
I
know a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just think it's a little weird too because I've seen a couple things lately of like I watched the documentary Senna.
Yeah.
And you get to see those races and you see how many precautions that they would eventually take for stuff like that, and then you see this movie and people are just blowing up left and right.
Yeah.
And it's like, wouldn't you just like stop the race? Like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, man, history is
interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It can be interesting sometimes. So, all right. What else? What's next?
What do we got?
Let's see. Up to you. You gotta look at the
Scary Stories trailer 2.
Oh right. So okay.
It doesn't for me. I'm moving nowhere.
So here's the thing. Here's what I liked about the trailer. I like the tone. I like the cinematography. I like the atmosphere.
Okay.
Here's what I don't like about the trailer. The acting. The dialogue.
Okay.
And my biggest complaint, which is the fact that this literally is the Goosebumps movie. Like, where all the books in real life are consolidated into one book in the movie, and then the reader brings those stories to life.
Yeah.
That's literally Goosebumps. They did that for the Goosebumps movie.
I feel like that had to be in something else before Goosebumps, though. It doesn't feel that original.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's always a challenge to do an anthology book series, but I would have just preferred an anthology movie based around these stories.
We don't have a lot of good anthology films anyway.
No, that's true. But, like, I don't know. I feel like with this, they took all the stories, they put them in a book, and then the reader brings them to life. I feel like we've just seen that so many times,
Yeah.
Especially with Goosebumps, which is what this movie is probably going to be compared to the most, even though the tone seems very different.
Yeah.
But the idea is the same. They're both children's horror books,
Yeah, they're not really playing into the whole children's aspect of this. This is more, teen.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, they're probably going to boost it up a little bit but I feel like in writing it's PG, but on screen it's probably PG-13 at most. I don't think this is going to be R. There's no way.
Yeah, not a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Fuck. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Everything that you enjoy about it, I can say the same thing. Everything that you don't enjoy, I can say the same thing.
That's really like all we can really say. I mean,
yeah, because we've already talked about. I feel like 2 things. We talked about the teaser, the trailer, right?
The Super Bowl thing, and the teaser.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've definitely discussed this one already, and I'm not I'm kind of still whatever about it.
Yeah, I've seen it's funny because in the trailer when they're showing Harold the Scarecrow, I actually did read that story from the book. The Scarecrow who comes to life or whatever. Mm-hmm. The Scarecrow just comes to life. It's just it's not like a girl who reads a book and then whatever. But
it is a creepy looking Scarecrow though.
It is, and they took it from the book, the little illustration.
Yeah.
And so I'm it's cool that they're using practical makeup and actually bringing these things to life.
Mm-hmm.
So the Scarecrow looks cool. And it does kind of end pretty dark for a kid's book, I'll be real. So I wonder if that's going to come into play for the movie. But it's weird how they're trying to connect all the stories. I don't know. that might just get messy because these stories have nothing to do with each other. It's an anthology, so
I think I agree with you. I think it would be better as an anthology.
Yeah.
I think I fucked up. I did not see this one because I didn't see it in here. It just kind of blended in.
Yeah.
Lucy. I don't think I saw that. Lucci. I didn't see that trailer.
Oh man, I think you would have really liked that trailer.
No.
Yeah.
What is it?
Let's pause it and we'll watch it. We'll watch it.
No, I'm so sorry. It looks awesome.
Yeah. I knew you would like it.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite trailer of the bunch.
Yeah, Loose is what it's called, not Lucci or whatever, but Loose. Yeah.
And at first when I was seeing it and it looked like kind of uplifting, I was like, it's really interesting that they cast Naomi Watts and Tim Roth, which they were in Funny Games together, the remake.
That might be kind of like
and
the
then
idea.
It changed to like a psychological thriller. I'm like, interesting. But if I had to get, like, I think what's cool about this trailer is I really don't know who the bad guy is.
Yeah, exactly.
In this.
Apparently, according to the trailer, like there is kind of like a psychological kind of element to it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yes. If I had to guess that she Octavia Spencer seems upset that he was able to make something that she probably suffered through.
Yeah, exactly. Like he probably didn't have to suffer, so.
Yeah, it's probably like a jealousy or something like that.
It could be like that. There's a lot of theories going on in my head. Like even just by rewatching the trailer just now, I'm like, maybe like. There's so many theories. Like maybe she's staging all of it because she is jealous. Maybe he is kind of crazy, and that she's just basically trying to help the situation. Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost like a school shooter in the making sort of thing.
Ooh.
You know, but maybe she's trying to pinpoint like him as that, but he's not, or maybe he is. We don't know. There's a lot of questions being asked, and that's what I like. Wow. You know,
that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First Reformed of the year.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely a Sundance film. I mean, it was at Sundance. Mm-hmm. Called it the most provocative film of Sundance. I don't know. It. Yeah, me too. I feel like this movie might end in a way that just blows everyone's minds. Maybe not in a good way, but it'll definitely blow everyone's minds.
Like kind of like a wake up call almost.
Yeah, maybe. It'll be like, damn, I didn't see that coming. By the way, I forgot to tell you about my phone. So it doesn't charge, right? Mm-hmm. But my phone car charger works a little bit. Right, but I just have to like I can't move it. As soon as it starts charging, I have to set it down.
My car charger does the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, man. But
it actually drains more than it charges.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get I got 5% out of it. So.
Interesting. So you wanna do the next one then, or you want me to continue?
Well, I don't want to. You can go ahead because I need to save as much better as possible.
Runs a marathon.
Oh yeah, this was like another Sundance movie, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was an Amazon original.
Or Amazon, yeah. Yeah.
Did you put that on there because you thought I would resonate with it?
No, I just put it on there.
Because it gets brownie points for that. But other than that, like I'm really not crazy about like the personality of the film. I don't know. It's supposed to be a comedy because it doesn't seem that fun.
I think it's like a true story. It looks like a dramedy. I already forgot most of.
Yeah, it's kind of seems forgettable.
Yeah, so she runs a marathon.
It
looks like it could be inspiring.
I'd run a marathon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to say I did it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it could be like an inspirational movie, but I'm just kind of...
Yeah.
I don't really remember much about it.
Yeah. Kind of forgettable.
Yeah. So that was a good clip.
Yeah, dude, clip this.
Yeah, I'll clip
this segment.
Clip that. There's not much to clip in this episode, I don't think, right?
No, not really. Like, because that's why I was looking at it and I'm like, which one would be the one to save for last? And I'm like, none of them. There you go.
Yeah.
And then the final one that we got is Ad Astra.
Oh, Ad Astra, right. I mean, this one might be able to clip because this one was also, along with Ford versus Ferrari, on everybody's like most anticipated list, and everyone's been praising this trailer, like especially on Stardust.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I thought this trailer looked like the most generic, like space movie.
Yeah,
I was just like, this looks super generic.
I mean, it's. I guess it's kind of nice because it feels like they could do a lot of like dramatic things because like the fate of the world is in a man's hand to convince his father to like, hey, don't do something, hasty or whatever.
Yeah.
There could be a lot of drama that comes out of that, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't show anything from the climax of it.
No, yeah.
But they basically just showed like, this is the situation, and then they just showed a bunch of clips of him being in space.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wasn't that based on the cinematography. I didn't think like.
Yeah,
it was all that impressive.
Yeah, there wasn't anything like visually stunning about it, which is with space movies. I mean,
it can because I bring that up just because Lucy in the Sky had a trailer pretty recently, and that had like really good visual style. And then this kind of comes out, and it's like kind of like, eh.
Yeah, or even High Life in a sense, and that's like a low budget thing. Even Love is a very low budget, and that has a distinctive style at least. Mm-hmm. This is just kind of. Yeah, there's not much going on with it, but again, I feel like this could be one of those movies that they're basically just trying to make like a mainstream trailer to kind of get people in the seats, but when you see it, it's like this crazy art project. I mean, it could be that. It's directed by James Gray, who directed The Lost City of Zed, which I really liked.
Yep. The Immigrant.
Mm-hmm. And, this is another Fox movie, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of glad we're on the same page. I didn't think it was anything
I didn't think it was that impressive. But everyone on Stardust is like 5 stars, 5 stars. I'm like, even the music of the trailer, is like the most generic trailer music. Like, I've heard that trailer music in so many other trailers.
Yeah, it's just like whatever temp music.
Yeah.
I got nothing really to say about it. It's
space movies are a dime a dozen. You have to really kind of you have to separate yourself from the rest of them to really stand out. So.
There's a lot of space movies.
There is.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest though. Some of the best space movies though are like some of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I love space in general. I'm big into astronomy. That's like a side, like a side interest of mine. I look it up. Did you know that the winds on Neptune are so fast that they break the speed of sound?
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just. In general, I think they go like 12,000 miles an hour or something like that.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
the windiest planet in the solar system, even more so than Jupiter.
There's so much that I don't know about the rest of the universe.
Did you know that the density of Saturn is so low that if you found like just hypothetically like a giant ocean, it would float?
It would float?
It would float. Mm-hmm.
That is sweet.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy.
That's some sci-fi stuff that's not fi.
Yeah, right? Fi. Exactly. Speaking of sci-fi, like in those movies when, like in Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever, when they're like going through asteroid fields and they're like trying to maneuver and everything like that because they're so... That's complete false. That's super false. Mm-hmm. Like, they look like they're close together because we're seeing them at a great distance, but when you get close to an asteroid, they're like hundreds of thousands of miles apart from each other.
Yeah.
So... like a normal spaceship could easily maneuver between them. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'm sure that you can look up a fact a day until the day you died about space. And you never learn the same thing twice.
No, you're right. Space is insane, dude.
Yes,
it's kind of like it makes you question, like think about life. That's where that's where the heavens are, man.
And that's why you can make so many good movies about it.
Exactly.
And that is the end of our trailers.
Yeah.
Don't leave now, the movie's not to come on!
Excuse me.
Hey, theater! What do you do when you get stuck on a movie line with a guy like this behind you?
Wait a minute, why can't I give my opinion? This is a free country?
And I see on here that you did not see anything this week.
I did not. I was going to try and maybe see some films. Like, I was going to try and see Godzilla and Dark Phoenix, but... there's not a lot in me that's pushing me to go see 2 average films.
Yes.
Well,
I don't even call Dark Phoenix average.
Yeah,
that movie's getting
trashed. It's getting trashed on. So, but I feel like I have to see it. I feel like I gotta see the last X-Men film.
Well, I saw a couple things.
What'd you see?
For class, I watched Half Nelson. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Actually, I'd say it was very solid.
Okay.
But I mean. For me, the film is kind of like just ahead of the curve to not be just a product of its environment and time. Because you know those indie movies, the realism of those indie movies back then. I mean, this movie wasn't to me revolutionary because I had seen like a couple that touch up on the same type of like drug use and stuff like that, like 13, and this movie had all of the characteristics that you would see around that time, like cutting away from action, and the up close handheld, which I'm not really a fan of. I'm not really a fan of like a lot of that kind of stuff, but it worked out because you know had some good dramatic tension. The characters were really well written. The performances were all great. It had a very natural feel to it, almost like it was improv. Yeah. But it's like all the stuff that you would normally see. So I mean, but it was good, and it wasn't exactly, you know, copying anything. I don't think.
Okay.
So
this is directed by Anna Bode and Ryan Fleck, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did pretty good for themselves afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I like Mississippi Grind, and it's kind of a funny story. It's pretty good. Yeah.
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 I mean, yeah. Even though you don't like Captain Marvel, I mean the fact that they're able to.
Oh, that's great.
Even make a Marvel movie. That's awesome.
100%. Good for them.
Based on this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and a couple other ones.
Apparently, this is the movie that like got them the job.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's just solid.
100%.
So the other one that I want to talk about a little bit more in depth is Rocketman.
Okay, you saw Rocketman.
Saw Rocketman.
Okay.
And there's something that you probably didn't know about it because I didn't know about it when I was going into this. It's not just a music biopic. It's a musical.
Really?
I had no clue. And the first time when it started, I look at Mark. I'm like, really? Like what? What is happening?
Wow.
It's a fucking musical. And
oh man.
I'm kind of glad that you didn't see it because I know you're not crazy about musicals.
No.
So this is no longer something you're interested in.
Damn, yeah, ooh, man.
Dude, and let me tell you something. Because this movie's got like, what, 91 on Rotten Tomatoes? It's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
At first, like the first 3 songs that came on, or the 3... Like, within the first 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to hate this movie. Because I hate it right now. Yeah. It's so cheesy. And, like, there's a song. It's, like, the second song in the movie where, like, all of the family, like, they start to walk away different parts of the house. And they start singing about their problems. And I'm with almost no music accompaniment. It's just like, what is happening? And I was like, not about it. And then it started to pick up when Taron Egerton came in. He actually did a really good job with the vocals. Even his performance is pretty good.
That's good.
I just don't see him getting a music career out of this. But yeah, Saturday Night is All Right for a Fight. That song came on, and that's when it started to pick up a little bit for me. I liked it, but here's the thing, and this goes for like all of the movie. They can do something right in each segment, but they can never do everything right at the same time. There's always something that is just like a miss. And then like, so for example, that scene, the Saturday Night scene, it has really good camera work. It's kind of like West Side Story. It's dynamic. The camera is just constantly moving. Yeah. And it's really well staged. But like at the same time, they take some liberties with the songs that it's like, this is kind of weird. Like, it just doesn't really make sense to put this in here. And then later down the road, the cinematography, the thing that I liked so much in that specific scene, like, they have this scene where, first of all, this is the worst musical number in the whole movie, probably besides the scene at the beginning, is... he does Pinball Wizard, which isn't even a Elton John song. Right. And it's got this, like, CG camera, like, moving around. Like, he's spinning around. And, like, every time he comes around, like, he's in a new outfit. And then it spins around again. And the way it looked reminded me of, like, the scene in Quantum of Solace where they're on the ropes and they're, like spinning around. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, that was the scene where I'm like, this movie's bad. Quantum of Solace is bad because they're abandoning stunts. But in this movie, like, it just looked really wonky. Yeah, it was like that kind of thing where they would get something right, a specific element right in one scene, and then it's like, what were you thinking in this other scene? It's super hit or miss.
Huh.
And the best musical number of this whole thing, besides Crocodile Rock, that's when they start floating. Yeah. That was an awesome scene, but that was like a live performance. That wasn't a musical number. Is with Honky Cat, which is the safest option. Right. They didn't really do anything orchestral with it. The staging is very bland. They didn't really change any of the lyrics to the song, really.
Right.
So that's kind of sad when the safest option becomes your best piece of work.
Yeah.
So for me, this movie was just like, it was okay.
Huh.
I kind of expected more, but I will say that I like the fantasy part about it. Like, it starts off, it's not very dramatized. You can tell this is like a moment in his life that was like not exaggerated whatsoever. And then by the end of it, like, there's one scene where he becomes a rocket ship and he just floats into space, and I was like, that's kind of lame.
Okay.
But like, I kind of like certain moments of that where like it becomes kind of fantasy, and that kind of separates it from just doing everything by the numbers. Yeah, I kind of appreciate the swing and the miss rather than the just lazy safe.
Do you think this is gonna get like a ton of awards attention?
Probably not.
No.
It seems
maybe Golden Globes.
Because I bet you, if it's at a 91, I bet you like the score itself is probably like a 6 or something like that. Because that's still considered positive for people.
Right.
And I'd say like, yeah, I'd still say it's positive, and I like it more, but like honestly not by much. I'd give it like a low 6.
Oh wow.
It's okay.
Give it a licks.
It's a little it's charming here and there, but I think that the way that they ended it was kind of weird too. Like, it makes sense, like what song they chose, like lyrically, but like for all the heart that the movie did have in certain moments, like that segment really, the finale didn't have any heart to it for me. Yeah. It was just okay.
Interesting. Huh. Well, yeah, I didn't have a lot of, because I'm not a huge fan of music biopics in general. And I'm definitely not a huge fan of musicals.
So yeah, now you heard that, you're like,
so I heard that, I'm like, why? There's really nothing driving me to see this film really at all. You know, I'd honestly, there's not, dude. 2019 has not been a good year.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of anything besides maybe Endgame that maybe Shazam too. So Endgame and Shazam are like the only things that really stick out this year for me.
Well, we're still early. There's still a ton of smaller films that we haven't seen yet.
That's very true.
I want to see High Life. What's the Last Man in
San Francisco? Yeah, I saw that was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see that, let me know, because I'd probably want to see that too.
Yeah,
that does look good.
I'm probably going to end up going. I'm hoping that it comes around to AMC around here.
You're right. So.
But that is all that I saw.
Nice.
Did you make a hot list? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my own hot list. How does that feel, you little bitch?
You probably don't have a list, do you?
I don't, but I got a couple contenders, but the thing is, I can name some films that I really like that have cinematography, but this list is very susceptible to change because I didn't really have enough time to really like hammer it home. But I know my 1 and 2.
Okay.
I know my 1 and 2. Anything else is very interchangeable for me.
I only have 5 honorable mentions because I wanted to keep it small, because I could have 1,000 films in this.
Oh yeah, me too.
So many. But these movies, I wanted to really narrow it down.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have 5 honorable mentions too, because I want to match you.
Gotcha. So yeah, top 5 films, cinematography in films.
Yeah.
Would you like me to start then?
Yeah, go ahead, start.
I'm just gonna start with the one that is like kind of personal, just because it was the first time that I took notice to cinematography, and I've talked about it so many times, so there's really no point in me diving real deep into it. And that's The Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
By Wally Pfister.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know, yeah.
Sorry.
That's such a name that you would use.
I know, right? Oh boy. That's his name, though. That's his name.
I know it's his name.
Yeah. So.
But I really do. Yeah, it's not much I can add to it.
Yeah.
But if you would like me to go again, just to delay.
No, I got one. Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now is so good.
Yeah.
Primo, dude.
Primo.
All right, so I got The Third Man.
The Third Man. That's a good one.
Robert Krasker's use of Dutch angles to create paranoia in the protagonist and an unsettling atmosphere was cited as a big influence on Orson Welles once he had returned from Europe to start shooting films. Mm-hmm. He was attracted to the expressionistic look from the harsh lighting and distortion in the cinematography. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. All right, my next one, Wizard of Oz.
Excellent.
It's really good cinematography.
I need to rewatch that movie.
So
I have it. I just need to rewatch it.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah. I got Lawrence of Arabia.
Of course.
It doesn't get more cinematic than roadshow type movies. Out of all the ones I've seen, Lawrence of Arabia slays them all. Freddie Young maps out armies of soldiers in one big pan, ultimately making a statement about how small we are in this big land. When dealing with Lawrence, it almost becomes the opposite. His body as a whole becomes bigger than the people because he's big enough to rise against the misunderstanding among men. He's big enough to admit that he's made mistakes.
Mm-hmm. All right, my third one is Gone with the Wind.
Dude, I really need to see that movie.
Oh, really? You haven't seen Gone with the Wind?
I own it too.
Oh,
I bought it for like $7 at in Walmart.
That surprised me. I haven't seen it in forever, so I it's definitely.
Yeah, I mean, because it's such a long.
It's 3.5 hours.
I have to
It's insane.
Have to set time aside.
It's insane. Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, but the cinematography looks so good in it.
It does.
And next up, okay, so this one's kind of weird.
Okay.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Well, that was going to be my next one.
It's too big to describe. There's genius everywhere. I'll admit it becomes tricky to say which is impressive due to effects, cinematography, or technology, but the spectacle itself can't be defined if we can't envision it the way Kubrick and Unsworth wants us to see it. It's just a small fraction of the big picture, but the cinematography is still breathtaking.
Okay. All right. My last one, right?
Okay.
It's actually, I'm stuck between two right here. I have a list in front of me. Oh, man, I don't know which one I want to do. Fuck me.
Just list them both off.
All right, fine. Taxi Driver.
Okay. Awesome.
And Days of Heaven.
Okay.
Terrence Malick.
Yes. Yeah, I have seen that.
And also, I'll add Tree of Life in there.
Okay.
Tree of Life. Yeah, dude.
Okay, so the next one I have. So I'll just say, I was watching a short film every night before bed for like a while when I was living in Florida.
Yeah.
And one that stood out to me was All the World's Memory. That's what it translates to.
Yeah.
It's a short documentary about the, excuse my pronunciation, Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris. It's easier to choose a favorite shot in this movie than the worst shot. All the angles they were able to find in the movement is impeccable. Dude, it looks so futuristic the way that the camera moves in this movie. It's like insane because it came out in like I think the 50s.
Yeah.
And whoa, like it just feels like they had invented technology for this. Just the way it moves. It's way too gorgeous for its modest length.
Damn.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that is my honorable mentions. So,
all right.
How would you like to do this?
I don't know. I don't care.
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
My number 5 is The Graduate. Whether it be the foreground shot between Mrs. Robinson's legs or the holy reference during the finale, Robert Surtees becomes a big part of the mise-en-scène in almost every scene.
Mise-en-scène?
Mise-en-scène.
Mise-en-scène.
Whatever, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The staging is a huge factor, but using that to create tension in the distance between characters or tranquility and solace at the bottom of a pool is due to Surtees' talent.
Nice.
I love him.
Nice. Well, I lied to you.
Okay.
My number 5 is Tree of Life.
Okay.
By Emmanuel Lubezki. It's absolutely fantastic. He's an amazing...
He won 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Revenant, Tree of Life, and what else?
No, it was Revenant. Gravity, and Birdman.
Birdman, yeah. He's amazing, dude. He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Chivo, he's fantastic, and he loves working. He can do anything from a CGI spectacle movie like Gravity to a very intimate kind of drama like Birdman, so he's fantastic. And Tree of Life especially is like the ultimate art house film by Terrence Malick, and Chivo's freaking cinematography just adds to it, dude. It just makes it 10 times better. There is some shot, because in that movie, there's like 20 minutes of just imagery.
Yeah, I've seen that segment.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's just imagery. And if you don't have a good cinematographer, you can't make something like that work. But because Chivo is behind the camera, he makes it work.
It looks like like a Planet Earth documentary.
Kind of does, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you even got dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like, yeah.
My number 4 is a very generic answer, but it's kind of mandatory to throw this on there.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane.
Oh, nice.
I mean, for God's sakes, this movie gave us the cinematic look with deep focus. Everything is in focus from the ground, the ceiling, and as far back as the naked eye can make out. Low angle shots were also a major innovation. I didn't really write a lot on this, but yeah, I mean, because it's kind of it pioneered like a couple of things. That it was a game changer.
For sure. All right. My number 4 is The Godfather, the King of Darkness. Gordon Willis. They called him the King of Darkness because he would always experiment with shadows so much to where shadows almost became the key light to everyone. And that's amazing. I mean, the shot where Marlon Brando is sitting at the desk and you kind of have, right there, it's on your poster. Yeah, you have like the lighting from above that kind of shadows his eyes and stuff. He knows how to create mood with lighting. I mean, he's one of the best. So
yeah,
Gordon Willis, he's absolutely amazing.
That was I was really debating on putting that one on here. My number 3 is a Tokyo Story.
Ooh,
There's
nice.
2 kinds of things you'll see in Yoharu Atsuta's cinematography. The first is simplicity. The camera is lowered to the height of the characters, and the camera cuts to their face as if they are speaking to another person. Ozu was a believer in minimalism and avoiding melodrama. Since this film is a portrait of the simple life for this elderly couple visiting their children, it works wonders. 2 is the stationary shot of the landscapes. While these characters visit the wonders of the world, it becomes the beauty of the world that is more comforting than the ignorance of your children. It's a sad film, but the cinematography is what helps make it so serene and poetic.
Nice. So this is my number 3?
Yes.
All right. Tonino Delicali. He's the cinematographer for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Baby. Hell yeah.
That's my number 2.
Is it really? Oh, no. Okay, well, there you go. Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to... I mean, wait, you haven't even said your number 3 yet, but... So I won't...
No, that is my number 3. No, Tokyo Story is my number 3.
Oh, right, you're right. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about it together. Yeah, this guy kind of revolutionized what a Western could be. Of all the Dollars trilogy, this one has the most distinct cinematography. The most iconic cinematography, I guess I should say, because when you think of the Dollars trilogy, the thing that comes to mind is the cinematography in that last standoff between the good, the bad, and the ugly characters. And he also did Once Upon a Time in the West and Once Upon a Time in America. So this man, he's a genius, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Fantastic.
He's the king of the pan.
King of the pan.
And
king of the extreme close-up as well.
And with that, he is spatial awareness.
Yes.
The reason why his scenes take so long is either because he's building tension by alerting you of every variable in the scene, like the hand movement to a gun, or he's mapping out the scene for us, letting us be omniscient before the action occurs.
Omniscient? No, I'm joking.
Unbelievable. You're reminding me of somebody I know.
Oh, no. No, yeah, his cinematography is amazing.
Yes.
So, okay.
So that's my number 2.
Oh, you're right. So now it goes back to me. Greg Toland, Citizen Kane, is my number 2. I didn't really want to talk about it too much because you were given your reasons, but like this guy is one of the only people that Orson Welles has ever shared a title card with. Did you know that? Like at the very end of the movie, it says in the same title card, it says directed by Orson Welles, shot by Greg Toland. So like he respected Greg Toland that much, And you're right, everything from deep focus to low angles to high key lighting, low key lighting. I mean, foreground objects. This movie really revolutionized films in so many ways, especially in cinematography, because this film has done so much that other films have never even thought of. Yeah. I even saw a interview once between H.G. Wells and Orson Welles. They were on a radio show together, and H.G. Wells was like, "Yo, so like, he didn't say yo, but he was like, what's next for you? What are you doing next?" And he's like, "Well, we're working on this movie. It's called Citizen Kane, and it's interesting because we're experimenting with a lot of things, and there's like a lot of things that haven't been done before, so we're just kind of trying to do things that are new and innovative, and he friggin' did it, man. Because everything that's a staple now in cinematography or in movies came from Citizen Kane. Every single movie you see, pretty much, has something that Citizen Kane invented.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
100%.
That's crazy. So, and that's why a lot of people say it's like the best film of all time.
And people weren't paying attention to that kind of thing. So, like, that's why it took them like 20 years before it started ending up on like people's like number one movie of all time list.
Yeah, exactly.
It took a long time for them to realize how genius it was.
Yes, 100%. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Greg Toland.
And my number one, I knew it right away.
I guarantee you, it might be the same as me.
It's not the same as you.
It's not the same. Never mind.
It's not the same.
Okay.
It's The Man with the Movie Camera.
Oh, okay.
I call this movie the Big Bang of editing because there was nothing and then there was everything.
Okay.
The last half hour does pioneer some techniques in cinematography, but it's the limitless of the camera and the courageousness of the man that wins this spot. Mikhail Kaufman climbs bridges, hangs off the side of trains, and crawls underground with miners. We get to see both the view from him, Dziga Vertov, his brother, filming his brother reach these ambitious heights, and from Mikhail's view, it's meta even now and near damning in 1929, making a movie borderline not a movie.
Yeah.
But this film is incredibly enjoyable to just soak in. For those that saw it, it convinced cinematographers to strive for more.
Yeah.
To me, it was just cinematic overload, barraging me with sights that I rarely see, even with the use of CG.
See, that's interesting because I'm sorry. What about the use of CG?
Oh.
What did you say about the use of CG?
I said I barely see like spectacle with CG and
okay.
I already forgot how I phrased it.
Yeah, because I was just wondering. This movie, we've talked about it before. It's like it's hard for me to even consider it a movie. It's more of just like an experiment. Because this guy just kind of goes out. It's literally called what it is. It's a man with a movie camera, and this is before we had any innovations to do some of these techniques. So I'm sure the reason this movie gets overlooked as opposed to something like Citizen Kane is probably because Citizen Kane is a story. It's more of a story.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Yes.
You know, this is just literally a guy running around with a movie camera, and he does some crazy stuff that's never been done before, like the first stop motion.
Yeah.
You know,
they were editing
reverse shots, like anything, high angles, low angles, like this guy just basically went out with a movie camera and did everything, like he possibly could.
The last
but it's not really a movie though.
Yeah, but it's a documentary.
Yeah,
it's a documentary of Russia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's the last 30 minutes of it, it's really cool the way, like I saw it on Netflix like a long time ago.
Yeah, and
it was cool because like it was so just chill for a while. It was like just showing the sights of like I think Moscow in just a very unbiased like light, just showing every aspect of it. And then like the last 30 minutes of it, the music that they used started to keep climbing, and the rhythm, like the tempo kept increasing. And then next thing you know, like there was shots coming like so quickly, and there would be like a shot that like was never even thought of. Like at one point he makes himself like as big as the city. And he's just like how the fuck did he do that?
Right.
Like holy shit! Like, and then they had like the split screen. Like that kind of thing was never done before. If you go onto the Wikipedia and you look like at the first like tagline of it, it'll tell you like there's like 15 things that movie pioneered that were not done before that. Yeah,
no, it's a very revolutionary film.
Yes.
I'm not arguing that, but I can see why people would be like, it's not really a film, you know. But yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
My number one is actually two films.
Okay.
That go hand in hand. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Absolutely. The Blade Runner, Jordan Cronenworth. I mean, it's just a beautiful film. It's one of the most beautiful films I have ever seen. I mean, like, the lighting, obviously the neo-noirness of the film. They took noir as a cinematography concept and added neon, color, you know, they added their own spin onto a classic, which in and of itself made its own classic. And then Roger Deakins, who did the sequel, Blade Runner 2049, he basically he did his own thing, that's for sure. He made it more what's the word? I don't want to say ambient, but he made it more of a product of the environment, more so than Jordan Cronenworth's cinematography was so stylized. Yeah. It was insane, but I think it was amazing. Roger Deakins made it more so like a product of the real world they were living in, which works, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely works. But the style was absolutely amazing. All the shadows and the work of the high-key lighting and low-key lighting, the shadow play between it. It was so noir, but it was something new that hasn't been done before. Freaking Jordan Cronenworth, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Blade Runner. And also Roger Deakins, who did the... I'm going to add Skyfall as a honorable mention as well, because I used to watch movies with my dad all the time. My dad really wouldn't comment on something like camera work, just because that's such a subconscious thing, you know? But I remember watching Skyfall, directed by Roger Deakins. My dad leaned over and he's like, this is some great camera work. For my dad to say that and actually notice the camera work and appreciate it and the lighting and everything, that's huge.
Yeah.
So I'll add that as well.
I remember thinking that about Skyfall too. I really like it.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's so good. I might even just add that in my number one. You know, there's 3 movies in my number one.
Yeah, so Roger Deakins.
Roger Deakins, he's amazing, and Jordan Cronenworth.
Yeah.
Weth or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love him.
For sure. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That movie kind of falls under the 2001 kind of like banner because there's so many elements at play that really enhance the cinematography.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a good list.
But
I can see where you were coming from. Like, oh, I bet your number one is the same as mine.
Yeah. I really.
I bet you. Yeah, I figured you were like, oh, he's gonna throw 2049 in there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the end of the. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
That felt like a.
That was a quick.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Like I was like picking up the phone, expecting it to be like 3 o'clock. Like, oh damn.
Nope, it's 2:07.
Whoa.
So I'm gonna pause this and we're gonna see it, but before we do that, do we got anything else we got to say?
We do have something else that we got to say, but what we're gonna say it with, no fucking clue, bro.
Oh my god.
Usually, like what I think would be a cool thing to do is just kind of look through like what we just talked about and then see if anything in there would be like, oh, let's just throw that in there.
I wonder if we've had any duplicates.
Dude, I got it.
Right,
I have it.
Go on.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
That's a good one.
That's great.
That's a good one. Oh, dude.